Hey guys, it's Moonlander back with another movie review, and today we're going to be looking at a Japanese movie called Karate Kill. So I found this in the new releases on Amazon, and it costs $3.99 to rent. And this movie is subtitled with some English. It's about 2/3 of the movie is subtitled. So this movie is about a master of karate who can't make contact with his sister, who has left Japan to go to Hollywood so she can become an actress. So of course things don't go as well as she plans, and she has to take a job as a hostess at a club. And while working as a hostess at this club, she gets kidnapped by a crazy cult that is based in Texas, and for some reason the club owner owes them money in Hollywood. And this cult group is called Capital Messiah. And these guys like to stream snuff films. So our main character, the karate master, eventually makes his way to Hollywood to find this out for himself. And then he makes his way to Texas, where he teams up with a woman who escaped this cult minus a hand. And they join forces in order to rescue his sister and take this cult down. Okay, this looks and feels like an exploitation movie the whole time you're watching it. There's a decent amount of nudity throughout the whole movie, and gore and violence. So basically, throughout the whole movie, they're showing you someone's boobs. Towards the beginning, when he first arrives to Hollywood, he enters a apartment complex or something where he thinks his sister's gonna be at. And he walks into a room, and there's a topless nun in there and some other Japanese guy with his face in her bottom. And of course they get into a fight. But then as far as some of the violence in this movie, just to give you an idea of where they're going with the level of violence in this movie, there was one scene where he walked into this club, and this guy was upset that he couldn't finish his drink, so he rips his shirt off and he ends up getting his ear ripped off. And then there was a scene where they show you one of the snuff films this cult makes, and it shows the cult leader like forcing this Japanese woman to put her hand into a garbage disposal. And I couldn't help but remember when I was a young kid, we had a foreign exchange student from Japan stay with us. And I remember before they arrived, they wanted to warn all the families to make sure they watched these guys in the garbage disposal. Like, they felt the need to mention that. So apparently, I don't know, maybe there's some history I don't know about, but maybe garbage disposals aren't big in Japan. I don't know. Okay, so this movie uses CGI for blood and gore, and it isn't that bad looking. Usually that bugs me to where I have a hard time enjoying it, but I found myself just accepting it with this movie. And I was a little bit surprised by how decent the fight scenes were in this movie. I really didn't think it was gonna be that good, but they're actually pretty well choreographed fight scenes. I would say probably my favorite part of this movie were the bad guys. These guys are all ridiculous, and they kind of reminded me of like bad guys you'd see in a trauma movie. So the things I didn't like about this movie is by the end of this movie you're waiting for the confrontation between the main character and the leader of the cult and his henchmen, and you also kind of are led to expect some big fight between the cult members, and quite a few of the people just get shot or something. I was expecting something a little more satisfying. And then one more thing about this movie that I didn't really care for, which I might be reading too much into it, but you definitely get a sense that the guy that wrote and directed this movie might have something against America. I mean, I don't know, but he definitely goes out of his way to make the audience feel like he thinks that America's a crazy country. And he's also fascinated with the fact that we're lawfully able to have guns. And when I think back on the movie, I think any American in this movie is portrayed as a lunatic. I mean, I don't know, maybe he's just poking fun, but I found it a little off-putting myself, but yeah. So my final thoughts about Karate Kill is it is a pretty fun exploitation type of a movie, but I wouldn't say there's anything in particularly special about this movie. It's just a decent one. The fight scenes, they're okay, but they're not like real exciting or anything. And there's no point in the movie where I feel like, oh man, you gotta see this part. It's all just kind of, halfway decent to decent. So I'm gonna give this movie a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.